2017, I came to this job feeling so small, honestly feeling small and feeling like I didn't know what I was good at. I didn't know if I could even be good at anything. I just knew that I wanted to do something and I didn't know how. I just needed help to do that. And I didn't even know that I was going to get that from this job. I just took a chance. Back then, I could say that Maria was probably really shy. She would not be doing what she's doing right now. She was shy. She never questioned anything either. Back then, I really thought that being critical is wrong. I thought that you had to respect the opinion of an academic because they're the expert, right? But being in this role has taught me that, even though my opinion might not be as well developed, it doesn't mean that it's wrong or it's not valid or it's not wanted. So now, Maria, today, I can definitely say that I have grown phenomenally. I definitely feel so much more confident that I can, talk in front of other people or just even share my experience and feel like that my experience is important to something. So it's something bigger as well.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samuel, and what you just saw was a bit of a sneak peek into a Curiosity Pod that a lot of student partners have been developing over the past couple of months. And it's called SAPs, or Students as Partners, Co-Creating Change. And I thought we might give you a little bit of a taste into what this Curiosity Pod is today and maybe show you some of the cool things we've been doing. So I thought we'd start with why. Why are we making this? So at the end of last year, or well, I'd say 2 months, in like October, Ty approached us and told us she wants to firstly get more students involved in student partnership work at Western. And to do so, we need to create some form of training or a course or something that can equip students with the skills they need to be student partners. And so she gave us the control to set the agenda for a Curiosity Pod. So for those of you who don't know, a Curiosity Pod is 15 to 30 hours of learning. It's like 3 weeks of learning in a unit. And I remember the first time, or I can speak for the group, and I remember the first time she gave us that opportunity. And since then, it's been simultaneously one of the most exciting and terrifying experiences of our lives. Exciting because we get to shape curriculum, and terrifying because there's always this voice in the back of our head telling us, who are we to be doing this? We're just students. We don't have pedagogical experience. And so what you're going to see is the result of a lot of trust and faith that Ty's put into us. And I want to start with the first problem we had, and that was learning outcomes. You see, as students, we don't think of education and curriculum in terms of learning outcomes. We don't think about graduate attributes. We don't care about that sort of stuff. we think about what does it do for us and what's the problem that it's solving. And so for our CPod, we asked ourselves, and we spoke with Ty, what are the problems we need to solve? And we came up with 3. The first problem is students need to learn what partnership is and this whole new idea that's fundamentally different to the transactional culture they're coming out of. And they need to develop an understanding of their role as a SAP. So that was our first aim. And then after presenting this idealized version of partnership, we realized it's important that we make students aware of some of the complexities that exist in the world. For example, the possibility that an academic might want to use them as a source of feedback as opposed to properly partnering with them. And finally, we've noticed that students coming from the traditional classroom tend to be in a state of waiting to be told what to do. And we realized it's so important to help them build confidence to take initiative and solve problems as a SAP and not wait to be told what to do, but actually initiate some of that. And what's really cool is these learning outcomes ended up forming the overarching story that we wanted to tell in our Curiosity Pod. So we start with module 1, and it's called Discover Partnership Pedagogy. So this is where we sell the idea of partnership to the student. We introduce it to them. We present it in its ideal state. And Maria's video, which you saw at the start, was a part of that, and we'll come to that in a bit. The second module is called The Reality of Partnership. And here's where we start to sort of peel back the layers and give students a more nuanced view of partnership and the idea that it's actually very complex. It doesn't just work like that, and there's a lot you need to be aware of before you start partnering with academics. And the final module, I'd say, is a completely different genre, the first 2. It's called Lead the Way, and it's all about basically equipping SAPs with the mindset they need to go and partner with staff. It's about introducing them to our culture, which is so radically different to the culture they're coming out of. And so we spread these 3 modules across a 3-week structure. And at the end of every week, we had a little tutorial thing, which we call a mini hub session, where they take the ideas and concepts they've been wrestling with during the week, and they discuss it with a team of friends and some SAPs. And we're trying to build this sense of community. And at the end of the 3rd week, we've got a completion event, which is a 90-second pitch, which honestly gives students the opportunity to express what they want to bring to partnership. And I really feel like it brings together the 3 modules. So once you've discovered this whole new world, you get an opportunity to reflect and ask yourself, what's my place in it? How do I want to partner with staff? How do I want to be valued? What are my skills? If you're a graphic designer, if you're a great writer, what do you want to contribute to partnership? And this is an opportunity for students to initiate a discussion with staff. Now I'm going to pass it on to Shivani, and she's going to talk to you about what makes our Curiosity Pod different to anything you've ever seen before.
Thanks, Samuel. Hi, everyone. My name is Shivani. What makes this different is that this is a CPod co-created by students. And although the content is based on partnership literature, the story is told through our different experiences of partnership. We're showing the students and taking them on a journey of partnership and not just telling them what it is. For example, we were faced with the problem of how do we explain to a student of the CPod who a student partner was, and how do we make them engage with the content? So we made this video of a SAP reflecting on her journey, and the task we give the student is we ask the student to reflect on what they thought partnership was and describe it. Same goes with staff. How do we show the staff side of partnership? We chose to teach it through sharing experiences, and we take students on what feels like a shared journey. Another problem we had was, how do we make all of this complex partnership literature into something that connects with the student and engages them? So we made infographics and conveyed the information into something more easily digestible for the student. We've also used views differently. Views for the CPod is designed to be a collection of interactive resources. It's not the chaotic place where we consume material, reflect, do assessments, et cetera, We've done that differently. Students do the reflecting and thinking in another place. It's called a thought profile. And more about this, Max will be talking about. Over to Max.
So the thought profile is an interactive worksheet I designed and prototyped that each student would use to document their thoughts and responses to the stimuli. These are for each of the students to make their own, something like a journal, which they would then submit at the end of each week. They would primarily take the form of an interactive PDF, which would allow the use of text fields for students to type in their own answers, as well as fields to upload images and allow the use of a mouse or touchscreen if the students prefer to write the answers by hand. Of course, a version would be available to print for those who prefer a physical copy of the worksheet, which they can then scan in to submit. It serves as a collection of learning experiences the students can walk away with as an artifact that they could perhaps utilize for future endeavors. In collecting the students' different thoughts throughout modules 1 and 2, it presents them with material for the pitch, which they will be giving at the end of module 3. Now I'm going to give it back to Shivani to talk about module 3.
So here's where we need a little bit of your help. Module 3 is different. Here we show them what SAP culture is like and what the partnership mindset is. Normally, as students, we're so used to the transactional mode of learning, where we're told what to do by academics and get rewarded in terms of credits and marks. But here, we help them gain the confidence to navigate their role as a SAP and work alongside academics. So as part of this module, we have the thought profile and the pitch, but we've been trying to write up a manifesto of sorts comprised of tenets. And these are tips and advices that we would give a new SAP. And we've actually written up descriptions for each of them. For example, be brave enough to fail. It talks about being generous to give bad ideas and never shy away from pursuing your good ones. And similarly for the rest. Each has a purpose and a reason for why it's incorporated. But there's a problem. Something's missing. It needs a touch of the staff perspective. We do have Ty's voice representing the staff, but we need more of the staff side of the story. So here's where we need your help. As a staff, what do you want to tell students about partnership? What advice would you give to a new SAP? How would you want them to approach you? We'd love to discuss this question with some of you, and we'll see some of you in the breakout room. Thank you.